Hey, Claire.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really good. I've
Good.
got a word for you,
I'm ready.
and the word is habits, which I feel sort of carries on with a bit of a
Mm,
theme we've had in the last few episodes. It probably will fit, but yeah, habits, habits. What are your
mm,
thoughts on that word?
hmm. Yeah. Well, I see there are both really helpful habits and there are habits that are not helpful. Things like brushing and flossing your teeth. That is a really great habit. And then there are habits, and I wanted to just say habits of thought, ways that yeah, I see sort of a couple of angles here, but it's often what we're not even aware of. We're not aware of the habit of thought that has us doing something habitually until we kind of catch on to, hey, this is not serving me, whatever this habit is. And until we kind of are aware, and it's funny that it seems that it has to come to some point of such discomfort before we have a look and see what it is that's going on. Like, what is it that's driving this habit? And there are so many things that can feed into that. Things from our past culture, or things, I'm kind of thinking about food right now. We're getting ready for Christmas. And, when mom was alive, when we would go to mom's for mom and dad's for Christmas, she had like phenomenal baking. And I'm not that way. We don't usually have a lot of those kinds of things. Usually there's chocolate, stuff like that. So, but I have been thinking about I should make some cookies or something because we're going to be home for Christmas and but that when it was at mom's, it was that just this habit because of uh, happening just a few times a year where she would do as much baking as she did and have like cinnamon rolls was my favorite, and it would be just eat as many as you can no matter how you feel, because you're going to go away and you won't have them for like who knows how long. But all of these habits, so even thinking about the thoughts behind that, this fear of missing out, that there's a limited quantity, there's this, you know, scarcity, and then feeling like, I'm the youngest of seven. So it's like, you got to get while the getting's good because it's going to be gone before you know it because there's so many mouths eating, right? Yeah. The other kind of thing that, I see in habit, I remember saying, quite, and I really believed it at the time, that, because whoever they are, say that it's, there's a variety of things: 21 days to break a habit, 36, 102.1, whatever, all of the ways. And I just felt like that was just not true. And then I heard something different. I heard that when we become aware, this is my own interpretation of what I had heard, and I saw, oh, when we become aware that something isn't serving us, it doesn't feel good, and we can see that it's just like, oh, it's a rut, it's a routine, it's a habit I'm in. It's like as soon as we become aware of it, we're preparing for something different. We're like becoming aware. We're starting to see it differently. And it's like, oh, well, maybe there is a time frame. And I also believe there's no time frame,
Mm.
because I've had things that I've seen something so clearly. and it just totally did not make sense anymore, and I just didn't do it. I believe it can happen that quickly. And I believe sometimes, depending on what's going on in our noggin, in our mind, what we're thinking, it can drag out. Like smoking. I used to smoke. It took years to, from the first time that it's like, yeah, I want to stop this. It was like, what was the reasoning behind it? The first, it was, money, right? They're very expensive. And then I started to roll my own and, that kind of thing. We all would sit down, we'd sit down with our little machines and our tobacco and we'd, make our cigarettes for the week or day or whatever. And it just became, it's like, yeah, it doesn't know health and the smell. And, there was all kinds of things. Yeah. I quit driving my dad's truck after he passed away and after we buried him, driving his truck back to the city where I'm from now, or area, for my brother-in-law to sell. I quit on the way back. I had my last. It's like, yeah, I'm done. I was 97. Anyway, those are the first things that come up around habit.
I love what you're pointing to there, that it's really insight that either I think can establish a habit or get rid of one. And I think it's like a habit, really, when it's a habit that's not particularly healthy for the body, the reason we're doing that is to try and feel calm, or insert whatever word, peace, happy, home is often bandied around in the spiritual conversation. The only reason we're doing that is to feel a certain way. If we're smoking, if we're drinking, if we're eating chocolate, if we're, if anything where we're going against the health of the body and we're doing something that isn't good for us, it's driven by a desire to feel differently. And smoking's a really interesting one, because I remember when I used to be a hypnotherapist and I did stop smoking sessions, and they said that the reason why people think smoking relieves stress is because people go, they breathe for they stop and breathe for a little while, where they've probably not done that all day. Like they've been, probably breathing very shallow, and actually when they finally take a breath, that it's the breath actually that settles the nervous system. It isn't the cigarette. The nicotine has very little effect on that. And actually even that run up to doing the habit, actually the relief starts coming in, doesn't it? Like I think about when I was a teacher, and a head teacher, teachers used to say, after school was wine o'clock. Like a lot of teachers would go home and the first thing they would do would be open a bottle of wine. And I often think now I understand this in a different way, that the relief was never got from the wine. The relief was got because on the way home, they're stressed out thinking about class 4 and what a pain in the backside they were, and now they've got to go teach class 4 and they've got all this marking and their heads are very full of thinking about work. And then they start thinking about wine. So all of a sudden, there's no thinking about work anymore. There's just thinking about wine. And then they're thinking about, oh, have I got a bottle of white open in the fridge, or do I fancy red tonight? And then thinking about, oh, is my favourite wine glass clean? Do I need to get that out of the dishwasher? Or, that they're starting to think, and then they get into the house and they might be going to buy the wine. All of the thinking then is about the wine. And so because they're not thinking about class 4 and what a nightmare they were today and what the nightmare they're going to be tomorrow, they start feeling stressed because the thought has changed. They're thinking about something that they think is nice. So the stress relief, so the wine appears to be, that habit appears to be bringing the stress relief. It's not. It's a distraction.
Yeah.
We're thinking about something else. We're doing something else. We're not in our heads thinking about the thing, like even when you're unwrapping the bar of chocolate, you already start to feel bad, don't you? Because you haven't even put it in your mouth. And I don't believe for 1 minute you put it in your mouth and you go, oh, I feel better now. Or you put the wine in your mouth, you go, feel better now. The chemicals haven't got in your body. They haven't got there yet. The habit is based on a lie that thing is making us feel better, when all that thing is really doing is distracting us. And the irony of that is that the thoughts that are making us feel stressed, or whatever they're already on the way out. Like they were leaving anyway. And they would have passed, you know, and then the feeling would have passed, and we didn't need to do anything about them. I used to do a lot of stuff around weight loss when I was doing hypnotherapy, and I had a little course I did, and one of the videos was about cravings. That, you know, craving is really, we think that's the body saying, I want this. And yes, I think there are some elements of when if our nutrition's out of balance. For example, if you have a magnesium deficiency, you might actually be craving chocolate. But quite often, if we just can sit with that feeling and we see how it actually passes, because it's not real hunger, it's instigated really by the mind, then the craving can disappear without doing anything. And I think with habits, there's probably something really powerful in us learning to sit with the discomfort and see how that discomfort just keeps, it leaves. You don't have to do anything about it. And in actual fact, you can't really, because all those habits ever do is create a mini, Clare calls it a mini reward. Like you get a mini hit of probably dopamine and a bit of like, ooh, you know, and then your life's still there. And if you're still thinking about your life in a crappy way, then you are still going to experience that discomfort. And the last thing is that I was just, as you first started talking, I don't know what you said, but something came to mind around how the whole of the way our experience is created is a habit of the mind. It's efficiency, isn't it? Like it's how does the mind make life efficient for us? Well, it just puts lots and lots of habits of thinking in place. Like when you learn to drive, when you first start learning to drive, it's flipping awful, isn't it? Like you're awful. It's just rubbish at it. And because you're trying to work out how to operate this machine, and then there's all these people, and thank God there's somebody next to you who's just kind of, you know, keeping it relatively sane and making sure you don't kill anybody, with pedals and everything. And, you know, then that becomes a habit of, you just do it, and then people drive around doing all sorts of things behind the wheel and still relatively staying safe, much as many of those things are now illegal. But we can have a conversation and shout at our kids who are carrying on in the back of the car and do all of that whilst driving, because the mind has just tried to efficiency that thing, sort that thing out. And I think everything is a habit. Everything is a habit. Our ways of reacting, our ways of responding to reacting to the world around us, reacting to other people, reacting to our own emotions, reacting to our thoughts, reacting to our own behavior, like how we judge us. Just all of that is just a stuck flipping record, just playing the same old tune it's been playing, since my case probably about 1974. It's just still playing that same habitual pattern. And I think there's something really empowering in seeing that, yes, I have this, like, my thing is I always say busyness is my drug of choice. So on Monday morning I got really overwhelmed because I've just got a lot of irons in the fire at the moment, quite a lot of things going on. I've kind of cleared out my diary to just give myself space to do things, cancel loads of appointments and all sorts of things. But on Monday morning, I was clearly feeling, when I feel overwhelmed, my habit is to do things in the kitchen. Like I made kombucha and I emptied the dishwasher and reloaded the dishwasher and cleaned up in the kitchen, and things that could have waited. The kombucha really could have waited. Because and after a while I went, oh, I see what's happening here. Your feet, and I stopped and I could feel overwhelmed. For me, it feels like there's a 20 stone man sat on my chest. I feel kind of, it feels tight here. And I went, oh, you're overwhelmed. You've got too much on your mind, thinking about all the things you've got to do. And then I was able to kind of just seeing the habit made me go, oh, look, you're doing that again. That's the thing you do when you feel overwhelmed by your business. You make kombucha or other such activities in the kitchen that aren't really that essential. But I think in that way, our habits can just be, rather than us then judging ourselves, go, oh, you're doing that thing again, you idiot, you shouldn't be doing that, all that kind of shame and guilt and horrible. We can go, oh, yeah, that's the thing I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed. Then we can get really, like you talk a lot about knowing yourself. It's all, we can go, oh yeah, that is what I do. That is what I do when I'm feeling overwhelmed. I go off and faff. And I think there's a lot of freedom in seeing the habits as kind of a guiding light, almost, to help us to see where there are misunderstandings in our experience. So that was a bit of a ramble.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, agreed. It doesn't rule. It's good to know about it.
Do you have any things like that you've kind of noticed your go-tos?
Well, it is funny because yes, I'll do the same. I'll do some kind of cleaning, right? Like cleaning up, like I have a number of things I could clean up all around me, on the floor and on my desk and in the room or outside of here. Yeah, I'll go to cleaning because it's kind of mindless. And well, not in here, it's not so mindless. But when I do it in here, I feel like I'm creating space. Like that is what it's like. Because yeah, the same when it's overwhelmed or I feel like I have to do some things that maybe I have some thinking about. Maybe I don't quite know how I'm going to do it. So I'm putting off starting it, that kind of thing. And I think for me, it's twofold, where the mindlessness of the cleaning or sorting or putting a load of laundry in or cleaning off a corner of the cupboard that's had, the same stuff on it for a couple of weeks or that kind of thing. And then in here, what I find when I do a little bit of cleanup, it's creating space for me to move. And I feel like the clutter can get to me. So it's clearing my mind, clear my space and clearing my mind too. So yeah. And getting order, then trying to putting out on my desk or in my workspace only what I need. And then using places where I can tuck stuff away, because I usually have a lot of things on the go as well. I'm always learning something, and it never seems to have like one little tiny thing. There's like a multitude of stuff that I have that I'm flipping through and looking at. And then there's the work, there's the projects. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. That was really good. What one thing that really it's like, yeah, we can use a habit for comfort, for something we're familiar with. We can stay in something too longer, even once we recognize that it's no longer serving, that it feels uncomfortable, it's not doing anything helpful for me. It can be a comfort just to continue it. So, and it's just really great to recognize that too, and trust your inner wisdom that it's going to keep reminding you, oh yeah, this isn't working. Oh yeah, this doesn't feel good. Oh yeah, this isn't giving me the outcome that I kind of want. And eventually, just like the smoking, there'll come a time where it's like, oh, I'm done. And that's it. So
Yeah, my kitchen activity lasts a lot shorter time now. Yeah, I think it's just noticing it, isn't it? And it gets sooner and sooner that you do notice it.
Yeah. And you may get that feeling. I was just speaking with someone about this yesterday, where it's like, oh my gosh, here I go again. Here I am again. Nothing is changing. I'm still in the same place. And it's like, that is not true. I see that we live life on an upwards spiral staircase of consciousness. And the more, you might come around and find yourself doing that thing again, but you're just more aware. It might feel, oh yeah, that's what it feels like, what I do when I'm overwhelmed or whatever. But it's just like, but you're aware of it. And you do, like you said, you do. Your kitchen gets less cleaning now because you probably catch it, or you're aware of it, you notice it, and you know that you don't have to avoid through this. So you become more and more aware. You don't scooch down to the bottom again and hang.
No.
You're never different. You're never what you were a moment ago, a day ago, a month ago, a year ago.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful, actually, because I think with a lot of the sort of icky self-development stuff I did in the past, there was this sense of going up and down a lot, like, oh yeah, I feel much better, oh, I'm down again. And like, whereas with this, it feels like there's just always with this understanding, this raising of consciousness, or when there just is you're right, you don't ever go back.
Yeah.
Once you've seen something, that habit of thinking falls away, and it's gone. It like dissolves. It's like there's nothing else to do, really. And that's huge, because I think a lot of stuff can have us bouncing back and forth, like, oh, it's working for a bit, oh, now that's not working anymore, now I have to try something else. And that is not the same as this journey. This journey is a journey that just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And I just want to say that, it's not that you'll never go back there to something. You may, because there's things that, there's every now and again, I had what I thought was depression, 8-10 years ago, whenever it was, for a long while. And every now and again, there was a feeling to it. It was icky, and it was dread, and it was just nothing really good about it. Every now and again, I'll feel that. Now that maybe it's because it was so gross. It was such an ugly feeling. I'm able to pop out of it like really quick. And when I notice that it typically happens, if it does, which isn't very frequently, like maybe, I don't even know, once every few months or whatever, it'll be just before I get out of bed in the morning. And then I break it and it's just like, no. And then I'll get up, because it's like, no. But there are times where I might have like a few days watching Netflix and just feeling, it's like, ooh, I know I'm in it. I know I'm caught, not in that depression thing, but in something where it's just like, I don't want to do anything. I know I'm avoiding. There could be lots of things going on. But here's the thing. I always know that usually within 2 days, I'm done. It's gone. And I wake up, or sometimes it happens at night after maybe the second day of it, where it's just like, oh, I'm out. And it's like, I believe I could effort myself out of it, but sometimes I'm okay to be in it. And I have some theories about that. One is because I think that happens when I'm not giving myself a break. I'm not building space into my week. And I feel just like everything is pressing on me. And then it's just like, flip it all. And it's like, I'm out. I think it's that. I don't know. There's more to see. I'm curious of what I'll see now, because I've never said it out loud. So now that I've said it, it's going to be even more in my awareness, and I'll just see what that is. Like, let's just see what kind of habit I created for myself that causes me to want to like escape everyone and everything. And I will, like, I almost remove myself from my family. So yeah, it's like putting up this wall, like, don't come near me, leave me alone. Or sometimes I'll just say, I'm in a mood. I need some time. I'm just going to do and we're good. We're quite aware in our household. So it's like, that's cool. We're not like, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong? There's none of that. It's like, we're good. We're good. If you need to talk, you can.
I have naps when that happens. Do a lot of napping.
Sounds
definitely. Yeah,
sounds like a good thing to do.
Like this, it'd be interesting as that you go on that journey and you see something different. Perhaps you can bring it here. We can talk about it.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks,
you, Clare. Yeah, that was good. Very good. Yeah, appreciate that.
See you next time.